Okay. I mean, that's the best reaction I can get from this game is okay. Not a lot to really say like, oh God, this team's on a path of terror, and not enough to say like, oh boy, there's a lot of question marks. And it was a convincing win. Um, Green Bay put up a fight into almost the entire third quarter, but man, what else could you expect Green Bay to do in this game, especially with the receiving core depleted as much as it was? I personally don't feel Jordan Love was right in this game, even from that first pass attempt that just should have been a CJ Gardner Johnson interception. Um, yeah, just again, I personally even thought like even look at things I was like, this is the team that scares me the most, and I said this even before the playoffs were lined up. This is the team that scared me the most. So in a way, excuse me, that out of the NFC North, that scared me the most. So getting by them kind of convincingly, even still, because again, I think Matt LaFleur makes up for a lot of deficiencies when you have deficiencies on offense like you did with the receiving core for Green Bay. But anyway, enough about Green Bay. Hey man, they battled as much as they could, but it's just you're overmatched. You're on enemy territory, et cetera, et cetera. It was a good game for the most part. As for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, you got this Jalen Hurts in a lot of games. The guy that's not going to fill the stat sheet with passing yards. You got to hope guys get yards after catch like that Dallas Goedert touchdown, which was just an absolute game-changing momentum backbreaker moment for the Packers. And you rely on the run. You let Saquon run up the gut as much as possible, kill clock, get first downs, and just ground this. Even Gainwell coming in, he got a first down or two. Just that running game is just something that, as long as you produce with that, and Jalen doesn't turn the ball over, it's going to be very hard to beat this Eagles team. And that's why I'm saying, like, you didn't see so much to, like, say, like, wow, this team is on a path of terror, but you didn't see stuff that says, oh my gosh, we got to clean up these turnovers and stuff like that. Like, you're not leaving the game saying that. So it's just, they've got a formula. And the defense held another team to 10 points. Now, was this the best offense to really judge your defense against? And, okay, yeah, maybe not much so. But I think this defense is really feeling themselves with how they ended this game. And that's the thing that I think is stuff that you can carry over into the next week's game, because, there's a good chance that you're going to be facing Tampa. Tampa is just the Achilles heel for Philadelphia. I don't care what they're coming in with. That is just the Philadelphia Achilles heel. Going all the way back to the last game of Veterans Stadium where I was there for the NFC Championship game. Don't make me relive that. But it could still be Washington too. Out of those two teams, hey, I'm cool with facing either one of them. Not to get ahead of not to get ahead of myself. I'm not going to talk dead set on who the opponent's going to be, but I feel very assured from this win, because again, they just have to stick with this formula. Do enough on defense to not let the other team's offense get out of hand, and just don't make errors with your quarterback play and rely on the running. Like you're gonna eventually get A.J. Brown breaking one to the house, or a Dallas Goedert, or Devontae Smith screaming down the field and catching a bomb. Like, you're going to get a play or two like that every game, as long as you just keep the passing game, the defense honest with the passing game. You mix it in. You don't have to rely on it. And that's why, like, I'm not sweating the fact that the Eagles were, what they finished with, like the fifth, sixth worst passing offense. But I'm like, oh yeah, well, they had the number one running team, the offense in the league. So yeah, so should be pretty lacking in the passing game. Why would you want to pass the ball? Anyway, I feel relieved from what I saw, because I was nervous that Jalen was going to get skittish, was going to be rusty, was going to start just throwing ducks that were going to get picked off left and right, like you have seen him in the past. But no, he looked calm and controlled in this game. Didn't do too much, didn't take too many risks. He had very good sense with the flight moves. I don't like the fact that he went head first on some of his diving, but I digress. Anyway, let's just take it in the next week. It's so weird because, like, you usually say at the end of one of these videos, oh, look, let's see what they do against this such and such, because you don't know yet. Anyway, let's pick it up next week. And yeah, I'm feeling overly positive. I'm feeling overly positive and optimistic. I felt good going into this game, knowing on paper that this team was better and that I thought was going to, rep themselves better in the home field. So let's take it in the next week, because honestly, I feel like, again, Green Bay was one of the teams in the NFC that I feared the most. It's them in Detroit. If they're not facing them or Detroit in the next round, I'm going to feel more optimistic than I did going into this game today, and I felt way optimistic going into this game. But again, any given Sundays or Saturdays happen all the time, so just take a deep breath, enjoy this win. It's a big playoff win. It's the, third or fourth time they've beat the Packers in the playoffs, only lost to them once. Anyways, Michael Vick interception in the end zone. There you go. I'll throw that in, Packers fans, so you can have a happy moment. Vick threw that interception in the end zone. It's that 2017 was that game, or 2017, 2007, 2009, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. The numbers just fall out of my head the second they go in my head. Anyways, let's take it into next week. What say you guys? Do you feel optimistic about the Eagles? And again, going back to what I said before, is how this defense is really ended on a very strong note. They forced that turnover on 4 downs, and then got Quinyon Mitchell his first interception ever, and it's in a playoff game. And then Cooper DeJean botched the pedigree. Son of a bitch. They probably practiced that so many times. Anyways, it's just funny. They went to a wrestling move. I guess this guy must be a wrestling fan. Look for him at WrestleMania next year. Anyway, oh boy, let's take it in next week. That is all.